RBS Basic Research Academy welcomes to you in another video that's about the important rules for working on smart PLS. Dear viewers, when you are going to work on the smart PLS, so some of the important rules are there which you should keep in your mind. Because if you do not know about all these rules, and probably you are doing the work in the wrong way. So that's why that one is important. There are at least 5 rules which I'm going to repeat here. Already, all these rules have been discussed in my previous videos on the smart PLS. I want to remind you that I'm running a series on smart PLS where more than 8 theoretical videos are available on the rule 5, which I'm discussing in this book. This is just the repetition of the all previous one. So if you want to have a detail of all these one, then please watch my these videos. These are available in the Sindhi language as well as in the English language. And their image is you are looking here. All these are available at my YouTube channel. Now, I want to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Vaiables and I'm from Shabd University. Furthermore, I also want to inform you that I have also done my online course from the Smart PLS Academy on the Smart PLS. So where I covered 9 different components of the Smart PLS. So that's why I'm a certified trainer from the Smart PLS. Now I'm moving towards discussing these 5 rules. Here the rule number 1 is, so normally we have the 2 variable, observed and the latent variable. Observed variable is that variable which you can observe by looking at, for example, a rate of inflation, like that means a weight in kg of any parcel, age of any person, income of any person. So these are directly observable. And others are not directly observable, and these we call is a latent variable, like the satisfaction, employee satisfaction, beauty, and the intelligence of any student. So different concepts are there. All these are latent variable. And by the way, my complete video is available on the latent variable and its image you are looking here. And then how to show these 2 observed and latent variable in the while you are designing a model in the smart PLS. So this circuit this image you are looking here. So when you are when you want to work on the observed variable in smart PLS, then you have to show observed variable in this manner. But when you are working on the latent variable, then you have to show that latent variable in this manner. And then there are the different names of these one. Like the latent variable, alternatively we call is a factor, is a construct. As well the observed variable, alternatively we call it the observed variable, statement or in item. So this was the rule number 1. Now we talk about the rule number 2, which is very important. Normally we work on these scales. So we divided scale into the reflective and the formative. So by the way, my video is available on the separately on the formative as well as on the reflective. If you have time, then please watch for complete detail of the formative and the reflective scale, and how to measure this formative and reflective scale, how to measure their reliability, how to check their validity. So complete information is available on the formative and reflective on these 2 videos. Okay, now if we talk about the reflective, so now reflective basically there is a one unique dimensionality, because it talks at one time about the one dimension. And that's why all statements are measuring exactly the same thing. That's why all statements which are there in that type of the construct, they are measuring the same thing. How? I'm giving you one example. So now this is the example of the reflective measurement model, where we are going to talk about the restaurant. Now, for example, these 3 questions are there where we are talking about the one dimension. Like, I appreciate this hotel. I'm looking forward to staying in this hotel. I recommend this hotel to the others. That means the dimension is only about the hotel. So again and again, we're talking about the same thing in the model. Okay. And then Another important thing is there that because of any reason, if you are removing any one or two statement, then it has no negative impact on the overall results of your. Now the MOs only work on the reflective. So MO is not for the formative. So that's why if you want to work on the reflective scales, or sometimes we have a combination of the reflective and formative scale. Even though if this is the situation with you, the IBM species cannot help you. So only the IBM spaces can be worked when all your constants are reflective. So format basically is talks about the several dimensions, like the it talks about the many dimensions, and all these dimensions come, they means the combinedly they are making or forming a one construct. So that's why we call it as a formative construct, because all these dimensions are making collectively a one factor or a one construct. So here correlation is not necessary. If there is a means the mild correlation, that's good. The high correlation is a detrimental for this type of the model. And then if you are removing any statement, then it has a very high impact, detrimental impact on the overall the containability of your model. In this regard, for example, this the service is good, one dimension, the primary, the personnel is friendly, another dimension, and rooms are clean, another dimension. So now all the dimensions are completely different from the others. So if you're removing this one dimension, that means one of the important component you have missed. So that's why deletion create a lot of problem for your measurement models validity. Okay. And now important thing is the rule that the PLS works on both formative as well as on the reflective. Now, PLS equally handle the formative alone and the reflective alone. But if there is a combination, then again the smart PLS can help you or can analyze the mixture of the formative and the reflective scales. So that's I think the biggest advantage of the smart PLS over the species MOs. Okay. Rule number 3. Rule number 3 is what is done that the only over can be DV or IDV. DV dependent variable and IDV independent variable. For example, sometimes what's happened, our one dependent variable is playing a dual role. One variable is playing a dual role. At one time, the same variable is our dependent variable. On the other time, the same variable is our independent variable. So now this circle shows the latent variable, like this is a latent variable, or C3 are latent variable. Okay, so now DV or IDV, there can be like the latent variable, and this column must be connected with the over, like this one. So whenever you are working, then you should create the like the path. You should create a path between this one and this one. How? Like this is the our. Okay, and this is our inner model. All these are our inner model, and this is the outer model. By the way, in the all my tutorial videos, I have discussed this one completely. If you want to have a more detail about this one, please watch those videos, and these videos are available in English language. Rule number 3 is that this is the old type, like the can be DV or IDV, because sometimes the one variable is playing the dual role. At one time, it's playing as a IDV. At the same time, it is also playing a DV. Here you are looking at one graph or one model where you are seeing that the different variable are there. At the same time, they are independent, playing the role of independent and the dependent variable. And there should be the connection or the path between this one and this. And then again, there's also relationship between the one latent variable with the another latent variable. Okay, now this one arrow is basically a one path, and also it is a one hypothesis. So now this model we divide into the structural model and the measurement model. Dear friends, then this is our rule number 5, that none of this can exist on the canvas without oval. Okay, because there is a close contact between these two images. We can make a single statement construction. Sometime that means we do not have the more than one indicator or statement to measure about particular phenomena, particular behavior. So that's why we have a single statement. So the beauty of smart PLS is what it can also work on the single statement. So you are looking here the example of that single statement. That the smart PLS can easily handle this one single item construct, while the MOS has not such ability to handle this single statement. Rule number 5 is what PLS does not work on the measurement model alone, but it works on the measurement as well as on the structural model completely. Instead, it always work on the structural model, okay, and where the model having the definite IVs and the DVs, where we are creating the one is DV and another are DV. So close relationship we are finding there among the each other. And then key concepts of the smart PLS. So we may talk about the data requirement, then the sample size. Rule of thumb is 10. So now, even though if the sample size is 10, smart PLS can work it. And no assumption of normality. There's no any problem of the assumption of the normal. Even if your data is normal, smart PLS can handle it. That's why the smart PLS we call is a non-parametric test. Okay, and highly robust missing values. If there are some missing values, then again the smart PLS can handle all these one. Can work on the metric and interval, ordinal, and the binary codes on all these one equally. Okay, one major limitation of the is the limitation of if the DV is categorical variable, then it is some problem. Categorical variable normally talk about the when it has the two choices, yes or no, male or female, like this one. In a model characteristics, it can now the smart PLS can work on the reflective as well as on formative model, and then can work on the single statement. Another beauty of this smart PLS software, and can also work on the recursive models. Recursive model like that, there is no feedback loop like that. Leader leads to motivation, motivation leads to performance, and performance again leads to the leader. So now this is a recursive model. And then another thing is about the model evaluation. How to evaluate the model? No global goodness of fit indicator are available in the smart PLS. While in case of the MOs, there are more than 10 indicators of the goodness of fit model are available. So here looking all these 10 indicators are there. What to see in the measurement model? What we have to see in the measurement model? Like we have to see over there, either our model is reflective or formative. If it is our reflective, then we have to check out the convergent validity. What is there? What do you mean by the convergent validity? Convergent validity means construct validity, internal consistency, and AVE, average variance extracted. And in case of the discriminant validity, what their cross loadings are there, AVE, MSV, and HT, and the heterotrait and monotrait. And when you talk about the formative, then the contained validity and the convergent validity are. And then multicollinearity is also there in case of the formative. So for the formative, your construct, the multicollinearity is sometimes is a big issue. So that's why you should take care about the multicollinearity. And then what to see in the path model. So earlier we talked about the measurement model, and now we're talking about the structural model. So in the smart PLS, what are the model are there? One is there are two parts, structural and the measurement model. So in the structural model, what we have to look over there? We have to look over the significance value, coefficient of determination, R square, effect size, and the multicollinearity. And another thing is the hard effects, hard mediation, moderation, and interaction. So these are some of the important, like the rules are there, which you should keep in your mind while working on smart PLS. I hope today's lecture has become much more informative for you. Although I have discussed all in a great detail in my last 8 videos on the smart periods, but I thought that okay, some of the repetition should be there just to revise your memory, just to refresh your memory. I have recorded this video for you. So at the end, I'm thankful for you to that you have watched this whole video. Okay, and furthermore, please take care of yourself, and also please take care of for this channel. How you can take care of this channel? You can watch it, like it, share it, and then if you have any comment or if you want to ask a question, you can ask the question. And very soon we will meet another video. Till that time, Khuda Hafiz.